Om Sri Sai Ram. Jnana Vahini, Chapter-03. The four types of spiritually wise persons. There are four types of spiritually wise person. Jnanis. Knowers of Brahman, Brahmavid. Master knowers of Brahman, Brahma Vidvara. Most excellent knowers of Brahman, Brahma Vidvariya. And four supreme knowers of Brahma, Brahma Vidvarista. These types of differentiated according to the development of the pure sattvic quality in the spiritually wise person. The first has reached the fourth stage called Master of the Path, Patyapati. The second has attained the fifth, the indifferent, detached, Samaskriti stage. The third has gained the sixth stage, the lack of awareness of material objects, Padartha Bhavana. The fourth is in the seventh grade, the behind stage, Turiya, the stage of perpetual samadhi. Supreme knowers of Brahman, Brahma Vidvarista, are liberated. Although they are in the body, they have to be forcibly persuaded to eat and drink. They won't engage in any work relating to the world. They will be unconscious of the body and its demands. The other three will be aware of the body in varying intensities, and they will engage in worldly work to the extent appropriate to their spiritual status. Those three have to acquire destruction of the mind, manasa. This itself is of two grades. The destruction of the agitations, including their shapes and forms, swarupa, nasa, and the destruction of only the agitations, arupa, nasa. While on this point, readers might be troubled by a doubt. They might ask, who are these who have conquered and wiped out the mind? The answer is, those who have neither attachment nor hatred, pride nor jealousy nor greed, those who are free from bondage of the senses, those who have won the battle against the mind are really the heroes. That is the test. Such heroic people will be free from all hesitations. 10. The effects of three qualities. The one who has achieved the destruction of agitations and their shapes and forms, Swarupa Nasha, would have eliminated the two qualities, gunas of the sloth, tamas, and activity, rajas, and will shine with the splendor of pure serenity, sattva. Through the influence of that pure quality, such people will radiate love and beneficence and mercy wherever they move. In the already liberated individual, Brahma Vidvarista, even this sense, serene quality, sattvic guna, is absent. The serene quality will have as its unmistakable concomitant characteristics splendor, wisdom, bliss, peace, brotherliness, sense of sameness, self-confidence, holiness, purity, and similar qualities. He who is saturated in only that can witness the image of the Atma itself, Atma within. It is when the pure sattva quality is mixed with the slothful, tamasic, and active rajasic qualities that it is rendered impure and becomes the cause of ignorance and illusion. This is the reason for the bondage of humanity. The active rajasic quality produces the illusion of something non-existent being existent. It broadens and deepens the contact of the senses with the external world. It creates affection and attachment. So, By means of the dual pulse of happiness and sorrow, the one to gain and the other to avoid, it plunges people deeper and deeper into activity. These activities breed the evil of passion, fury, greed, conceit, hatred, pride, meanness, and trickery. And the soul and the slothful Thomasic quality, well, it binds the vision and lowers the intellect, multiplying sloth, sleep, and dullness, and leading one on the wrong path, away from the goal. It will make even the seen the unseen. One will fail to benefit even from one's actual experience if immersed in sloth, tamas. Sloth will mislead even big scholars. For scholarship does not necessarily confer moral stamina. Caught in the tentacles of sloth, the pundits cannot arrive at correct conclusions. Even the wise, if they are bound down by sloth, will be affected by many doubts and misgivings and be drawn towards sensory pleasures to the detriment of the wisdom they have gained. They will begin to identify themselves with their property, their wives and children, and such other worldly temporals. They will even confuse untruth with the truth and truth with untruth. Note what a great trickster this slothful quality is. 11. Illusion hides the individual's true blissful nature. This power of superimposition, that illusion, Maya, has hides from individual jivis the universal that they are. The being awareness, bliss, Sachidananda, that is their nature. All this creation, Jagat, with its manifoldness, is born out of the ascription of multiplicity where there is only one. When all this evolution is subsumed by the process of involution, pralaya, the three qualities gunas are in perfect equilibrium or balance. This is the stage called balance of the qualities, guna samya avastha. Then, through the will of the super will, Ishvara, the balance is disturbed and activity starts, leading to consequences that breed further activities. In other words, the world originates and develops and unfolds. This is the stage called unbalanced Vaishamya. Thus, from the subtle inner consciousness and subconscious to the gross outer physical body, everything is due to illusion Maya, or the power of superimposition of the particular over the universal. That is why these are referred to as non-Atma. They are like the mirage which superimposes water over desert sand. They can be destroyed only by the vision of Brahman or Atma. 12. Use the who am I inquiry to cease the hesitations. The affection one gets towards one's relations, the satisfaction one gets when one secures the things craved for, the happiness one gets when one utilizes such things, all these are bondages that the consciousness imposes on itself. Even sleep and dreams are such hesitations and have to be overcome before the Atma can be well visualized and realized. In sleep, the element of ignorance persists. The I and mine feelings produce an endless series of activities and agitations in the various levels of consciousness. But just as a single soldier in a vantage position can successfully tackle hundreds of enemy personnel who come in single file through a narrow gap, one can tackle each hesitation as and when it emerges in the consciousness and overwhelm it. The courage to do this can be obtained through training derived by practice. All hesitations will cease the moment one enters on the inquiry. Who am I? This was the spiritual discipline that Ramana Maharshi achieved and taught to his disciples. This is also the easiest of all the displays. First, there must be an yearning to procure one's own welfare the sovicia. This will lead to the study of books about Brahman and its principles, the search for the company of the good, the withdrawal from sensory pleasures, and the thirst for liberation. Even the divine maxim, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, has a trace of ignorance sticking to it, the Aham being considered as separate but identical. This Aham is so persistent that it will disappear only through ceaseless meditation on the contemplation of You are that, Tat Tvamasi, and the all-inclusive Atma or Brahman. This is the inquiry, Vicharana stage or basic step in yoga, Bhumika. The stage subsequent to the desire to procure one's own welfare, Subicha stage. By these means, the mind can be fixed very soon on the contemplation of Brahman. Each stage is a step in the ladder for the progressive rise of the mind from the concrete to the subtle and the subtle to the non-existence. This is the last stage, the state of diminished body consciousness, Tanmanasi stage. The three stages referred to above and the disciplines they involve will destroy all desires and cravings and illumine knowledge of the reality. The mind is rendered fully holy and saturated with truth. This is called the stage of non-attachment or no contact, a samskati. That is to say, all contact with the exterior world or even with one's own past is wiped out. No attention is paid to the internal and the external. The spiritual aspirant reaches the state of non-cognition of objects, abhava pratiti, as it is called. Such a person has no awareness of objects, padartha bhavana, of their own. That is to say, no object can create any sensations in this consciousness. The perfect realized soul, Jnani, is ever immersed in the bliss of the Atma, with no awareness of the seer, the seen, and the sight, the triple thread. This is the fourth stage, the behind stage, Turiya. Some are wakeful, dreamy, Jagrat Swapna. They build castles in their air planning with the known and unknown, the seen and unseen. Others are extra wakeful through many births. Their I and mine have become too deep-rooted. All these are only agitations of the mind, vrittis. Wisdom can dawn only when these are destroyed. Until then, however, no matter how much one may know of names and forms, one can't grasp the reality. The ceasing of all consciousness or agitation is the sign of the person who really knows the reality. Jai Sai Ram.